For 12 long years, Kimono had toiled day and night, honing her martial arts skills until they were as sharp as a razor's edge. She had truly paid her dues, understanding that practice makes perfect was not just a saying but a way of life. She could read a room like a book and had a sixth sense for trouble, thanks to years of disciplined training that had taught her to expect the unexpected. So, when the opportunity arose for a new job, she felt she was truly ready for the big leagues. However, stepping into the corporate world was akin to opening a Pandora's box. Little did she know the challenges that lay ahead. This particular workplace was a man's world, specifically dominated by white men who seemed to have been there since time immemorial. Kimono, a woman of color, was acutely aware that she was a fish out of water, an outsider in a sea of sameness. She knew she'd have to keep her wits about her and walk on eggshells in the beginning, hoping to fit in like a glove eventually. After all, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, or so the saying goes. She was determined to put her best foot forward and prove that she was worth her salt, regardless of the prevailing atmosphere. It didn't take long for the writing to be on the wall. A particular crew, known for their bullying tactics and for having a chip on their shoulder, decided Kimono would be their next target. They were the kind who truly believed the early bird catches the worm, especially when it came to making others' lives miserable. Their harassment was relentless, a thorn in her side that pricked at her peace. At tea break, their snide remarks would cut her to the quick, echoing loudly enough for her to hear, yet always just vague enough to be deniable. They'd talk out of school, spreading rumors that made her blood boil. The resting place, meant for respite, became a hotbed of tension as their mocking laughter would follow her like a shadow. Even at her desk, they seemed to find ways to get under her skin, their whispers like a death knell to her concentration. It was a clear case of them trying to ruffle her feathers and make her feel like a stranger in a strange land. Kimono, usually one to keep a stiff upper lip, felt the cumulative effect of their actions. It was an experience that truly tested her patience. Indeed, patience is a virtue, but even a saint has limits. She knew that a word to the wise is enough, but these men seemed to be deaf to reason, firmly believing that might makes right. Their behavior truly proved that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as their leadership seemed to turn a blind eye to their antics, perhaps even condoning them. Kimono felt like she was between a rock and a hard place, wondering if she should turn the other cheek or if it was time to call a spade a spade. The daily onslaught began to take its toll. Kimono reached a point where her inner voice screamed, "Enough is enough." She wasn't one to beat around the bush, nor did she believe in letting sleeping dogs lie when injustice was at play. This wasn't just about her. She'd seen these three notorious men, who clearly thought they were the bee's knees, not only bully her but also other black men in the office, making their lives a living hell. It was a clear pattern of discrimination, and she knew that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and the workplace culture was becoming fragile under their influence. Kimono realized that actions speak louder than words, and it was time to put her money where her mouth is. She decided to face the music head-on. With fire in her belly and a resolve as firm as a rock, she approached the trio. They were caught off guard, clearly expecting her to continue to grin and bear it. She looked them square in the eye, her gaze unwavering. "Gentlemen," she began, not mincing her words, "I've had a bellyful of your antics. This workplace is for everyone, and it's time you cut the nonsense. You can't just lord it over everyone and expect to get away with murder." They tried to put on a brave face, but Kimono sensed their unease. She laid it out plainly: they were playing a dangerous game, and it was time for them to reap what they sowed. She knew that discretion is the better part of valor, but sometimes you have to take the bull by the horns. This was one of those times. She was ready to fight fire with fire, even if it meant burning bridges. After all, fortune favors the brave. The confrontation escalated swiftly, a clash of titans in the sterile office environment. Kimono, with her years of martial arts training, moved with a fluidity born of practice, truly demonstrating that still waters run deep. It was a sight to behold. She wasn't just defending herself, she was making a statement. The bullies, accustomed to getting their way through intimidation and verbal jabs, were now facing someone who could walk the talk and put her money where her mouth is. They quickly realized they had bitten off more than they could chew. The fight was swift, decisive, and mercifully, without serious injury, but it left no room for doubt about Kimono's prowess. She had truly turned the tables on them. By the time it was over, the men were left to lick their wounds, both literally and figuratively. They had been taught a lesson the hard way. In the aftermath, the incident became the talk of the town within the office. The management, who had previously chosen to sweep things under the rug, could no longer turn a blind eye. Kimono had not just proven her point, she had changed the game. The three notorious men, humbled and with a newfound respect, were made to face the music. They, along with other key figures in the company, eventually signed a formal agreement. This document wasn't just a piece of paper, it was a commitment. It unequivocally stated that every man, regardless of color, deserved to enjoy working in an environment free from harassment and discrimination. It was a clear case of justice being served and the truth coming out in the wash. Kimono, having cleared the air, had not only stood her ground but had also become a silent beacon of change. She proved that sometimes, you have to take matters into your own hands to truly make a difference. It was a reminder that every cloud has a silver lining, and even from adversity, something positive can emerge. The office culture, once shrouded in unspoken biases, now had a chance to turn over a new leaf, ensuring that the working environment was truly a level playing field for everyone.